Okay guys and girls, welcome back to FTRL. Sorry about the mix up there, unfortunately we had a bit of a game glitch, so we just had to quickly restart. So yeah, finally you've got me back in the booth for what is going to be a very rare appearance this evening for commentary. As you can see, we are at USA Short tonight for round 4 of the Challenge Championship, which has so far proved out to be a very exciting new idea that the league put together. Quite a small attendance tonight due to Champions League semi-finals and other bits and bobs, so unfortunately not the most amount of people driving tonight, but nevertheless should still be a cracker. So as we can see, we're in the Brawn GP car, which was the championship winning car from 2009, where Jenson Button took the F1, well, his only F1 Drivers World Championship. So yep, it's a completely different type of task for the lads tonight, so we'll have to wait and see how they get on. Quite a jumbled up grid in terms of pace and so on. Obviously classic cars completely different to normal, so I would expect a slightly different grid, or slightly different order should I say, for those that are driving. So yeah, and obviously this all the cars are going to look exactly the same, so we're going to have to go completely by name, which is going to be quite difficult this evening, so please bear with us, and also keep the comments coming in. Give me something to talk about, as I imagine we're going to get fairly quiet at some stage in the race. So yeah, looking forward to this one. Make sure you say hello, let us know who's watching. So at the moment we've got Ox currently on pole with a 1:08.2. Obviously the USA Short is quite a tight and twisty circuit. I imagine we're going to see a lot of penalties, a lot of corner cuts, a few offs as well, so God knows how it's going to end up tonight. So just on board with Chicken Guy. Obviously no ERS or anything like that, so it's purely just down to the driver's pace and seeing how they get on. These cars are quite slidey on traction and so on, so, and just as I say that, someone's had a spin in the background. Who was that? That was Chris. So right on cue, Chris has proved my point very well indeed. So Chicken Guy just about to come around the final corner. It's going to be probably a 1:09, I want to say. There's a 1:10.3, so yeah, massive difference in pace. Ox has gone up to a 1:07.4 with his fuel light on as well, so he's looking pretty quick, as is Panda, who always seems to do pretty well in these kind of special championships. Obviously won the Performance Championship in Season 2, but for internet problems may have won it in Season 3, and he's looking fairly good at the top, towards the top of the championship in this season's Challenge Championship. So at the moment CJ Payne is leading the championship by just a couple of points, and at the moment starting down in P9. It's probably not going to be his most preferable starting position, but yeah, these cars look amazing around this track, so grippy. That's a corner cut from Will, I think. What we will do is take an on board with somebody who is going to be starting a lap at some stage, as Tico's had a spin. I think it's going to be quite a theme tonight. How many drivers we finish with is a completely different story, but please stick it out. Pagani, car sounds beautiful. Peatman's in there screaming V10s. Oh yes, it's a shame this is the one race of the season I really wanted to race on, so I'm genuinely gutted to be missing this one tonight. But then again, if I didn't do it, then there'd be no stream, so sacrifice and all that sort of stuff. Right, Ravers Revenge. We've had Peatman saying Team Ravers and Team Donzo is onto the podiums, had an off. I think he's going to go back into the pits. We might stay on board with Ravers as he's going to warm up to a new hot lap coming around the final corner. Ravers just made the transition onto his wheel and we've gone to no traction as well, so this car sounds absolutely amazing going up the hill in towards turn 1. Nicely on the brakes. How's his traction out of turn 1? Yeah, pretty good. Approaching the S section, very difficult part of the circuit. So easy to just cut over one of these corners. He's having to lift off there, not the greatest line. Very hesitant, he's run a little bit wide. This little sequence of corners is nice when you get it right. Fairly steady so far from Ravers. Lost a little bit of traction as he accelerated on the curb. But yeah, this is going to be very difficult for those guys tonight, especially those that are learning no traction, because It's probably the only parts of the USA circuit where the traction is very, very hard to find. But nevertheless, it's been a pretty good lap from Ravers so far. These cars sound absolutely gorgeous. Approaching the penultimate corner now, fairly solid lap. Coming around the final corner, gets he touched the inside apex, just misses it. It's going to be a 108.6, so that puts him up into P6, 3/10 behind Dutch Tricks in P5. Yeah, Pagani gutted I couldn't be there to commentate. Yeah, I'm gutted to not have you with me, mate. It would have been lovely. Nevertheless, let's see what else is going on. I'm not going to take too many on board tonight, as that car will probably burn out everyone's ears. Dutch has had a spin. There we go. So he is human after all. So just 7.5 minutes left to qualify him. But so far, Ox and Panda, well, and Tico for that matter, they look very, very strong indeed. But we've seen Tico have a spin. Yeah, who's your money on tonight for the few people that are watching? Let us know who you think is going to get pole and what the top three is going to finish as. And I'd think a little bit outside the box, because there may be a couple of surprises incoming. That's all I'm going to say. Right, so who can we find on the lap? Matt Kors, Matthias Schmidt. Very good. Interesting fact about Matt Kors, for those who didn't know, very good at talking to girls. Yeah, that's his #1 feature apparently. Coming around the final corner. Very good at talking to girls, but not very good at driving Brawn GP cars, because he doesn't improve. Stays himself in P6. Ravers is really giving it the beans tonight. Let's see what Panda's up to. Can he challenge Ox for pole? He's had a bit of a slide. Okay, Pagani saying Ox for pole, Panda to win, onto the podium second, and Donzo third. Wow, there's a statement. But at the moment, Don is only 0.02 of a second behind Chicken Guy. Panda's having a few wobbles. I think we're going to see quite a few spins in this race. By the way, I will apologise in advance, because I will be vaping and all sorts, because I need it to stay sane this evening. Just 13 drivers on the grid. Let's go and see what Ox is up to. Quite a lot of improvement from Ox of late. That's a corner cut. Yeah, Season 4 champion Ox has been in FTRL for, I think he's actually got the most or second most amount of points in Division 1 in our history. So he's very much an original member. But he's kind of dropped off in terms of form when all the Dutchies decided to come in and take over. But we seem like we're refinding Ox again. So let's hope that will carry on and he can bring the fight, as we know that he can. Peteman saying Ravers to win it by a mile. If he does that, I'll donate £1,000 to a charity of your choice, because it's I doubt that'll happen this evening. Going to find me being very honest tonight, nothing too professional or over the top. Yeah, Ask Comms, keep them coming in tonight. Anything you like, personal, F1 related, FTR related, whatever you want to know. Obviously fairly sensible. Ask Comms, how do you think Matt would have done tonight if his PlayStation didn't die? Matt, oh, do you mean Catamies? Or I'm assuming you mean Catamies. Let me know, Pagani. Yeah, Catamies. I think he would have done very well. Catamies has always been pretty good. One, round USA, and two, he loves this car and he was looking forward to this for weeks. Unfortunately, his PlayStation decided to die on him at the last phase, so unfortunately he's missed out on it. Poor sod. Ashcoms from Peteman, I think you mean Ashcoms, but we'll roll with it. Barca score tonight, I think it's going to be 2-1 to Barcelona tonight. Oh, Panna's run very, very wide. That's probably going to be an invalidation. He's going to dive back in the pits. Obviously we've only got the dry or the wet tyre this evening, with it being these old school Formula 1 cars. Seeing some of the lads putting in quite a lot of laps tonight. So let's see, you've got a 5-1-3-3. Wow, I'd love to know what the odds are on that. Keep me posted on that score, by the way. That'd be much appreciated, because I would be watching, but more important things. 3 minutes left to qualifying. Onto the podium is quietly going about his business quite well. And those that know me know that I don't like to pay him too many compliments, but I probably should, because he's doing pretty well. 40-1, wow, okay. Nice, well, fair play, mate, if that comes in. I would be very impressed indeed. Okay, so onto the podium, approaching the probably the middle part of his lap. Oh, runs very, very wide. A little bit of lag. It was due to the yellow flag that we had in sector 2. Yeah, I think we're going to see quite a few spins in this sort of section where he is. Just prior, where we've seen a couple of guys go around. There's a car sideways in the background. 0-0 at the minute. Okay, Pete, well, I see. Keep you posted. Ox has retired. Whether that was intentional or not, I don't know. Onto the podium, running very wide, but he's still not improved. Let's give Donza a bit of airtime. Oh, there's Ox. Must be said, considering I hope you don't mind me saying this out loud, Pete, but considering Peteman and Donzo have only joined us this season, completely new to it, bought themselves wheels, you know, long-term fans of the league, if you like, decided to jump in, but considering it's their first and debut season with us, massive amounts of improvement, so lovely to see. Don't cause any problems, get on with their business, turn up every single week, but most importantly the pace is getting much stronger every single week, so it's not going to be too long before we see these guys battling for points every week, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. So we're going to watch Don as he goes through the S section. A little bit wide on entry, nevertheless keeps it clean. I think that's going to be the key tonight, keeping it clean, because I imagine we're going to see quite a lot of mistakes, collisions, spins. It should be entertaining. It's just a shame we've not got as many people in the lobby as we would have liked, but these things happen. Ask Comms, how do you rate Matt Cause's improvement since a couple of seasons ago? Massive. Obviously we all know, oh, as Don goes, does a donut, well, half a donut for the fans right in front of them all. But yeah, I imagine that corner's going to cut out quite a few people. But yeah, Don staying well out of the way, nicely done. Yeah, Matt Cause massively improved. When he first came in, he was very hot-headed, loved a dive bomb. His driving etiquette, if you like, wasn't awful, but it wasn't the best. But he seems to have just got better and better. And I think that we all laugh and joke about what happened with Matt when he bottled promotion massively in the season before last. But yeah, I mean, he got so much stick all of last season and then managed to get himself promoted, and he's not made himself look a fool in Division 1 either, so that's just a credit to himself, really. Gets a lot of stick, does Matt. So yeah, very good to see. Keep these questions coming in, keep me entertained. Like I said, anything you like, as long as it ain't silly. It doesn't have to be FTRL related, it can be football related, could be personal related, could be anything. As Cress has come around the final corner, Ravers has retired, Cress has had a wobble, and he's run out a few over the line, but he did improve. So, but okay, so the final classification sees Ox take pole, joined on the front row by FTRL Panda, Tico and Dutch, all too familiar, being nice and close together as normal, occupying the second row. Onto the podium, qualifying P5, Matt Cause in P6. Going off of memory, I think it was Ravers in P7. Let's take a look. I'll try and do a quick fire formation lap with stuff about every driver in a minute. We'll wait and see. Yeah, so Ravers Revenge P7, Houdini, formerly known as Michael C in P8, CJ Payne P9, Chicken Guy rounds off the top 10, City Posh down in 11th, Cress in P12, and Donzo rounding off the grid for tonight. As the drivers got 20 seconds to prepare themselves. Dead Wilfred, how do you join? Do you mean the league in total or this race? If you're wanting to join the league itself, then go onto Twitter and type in FTRL and send us a message and one of us will get back to you. Or if you mean the race itself, unfortunately you can't because it's a league race. The league I'm on PC. Well, unfortunately it's a PS4 league, mate, so there'll be plenty of PC leagues out there. If you go onto the Codemasters forum you should be able to find quite a few, but nevertheless stick around. I want to play them on PC, well unfortunately you can't, pal. Boo. Yeah, sorry mate, but we're on the superior platform. PC being second and Xbox being last. Right, so it does look a little bit cloudy, but sunny to start with, so we could see changing conditions possibly. Nevertheless, the formation lap can take us underway of Ox leading us away. So yeah, FTRL Ox as we've seen, and as we spoke about earlier on, one of the original members of FTRL, former Division 1 champion back in Season 4, lost his pace a little bit and now he's suddenly refound it. FTRL Panda, FTRL double champion, he's won Division 1 back in Season 6 I believe, and he's also won the Performance Championship in Season 2. Tico, not won a championship yet, but he's been very close on a couple of occasions, so he'll be looking for some form of redemption. He's found a little bit of pace winning the last couple of Division 1 races. Then we've got our back-to-back reigning champion Dutch Tricks in P4. So not actually won a race this season yet, which is surprising. But nevertheless, he's always going to be there or thereabouts. Very consistent driver. Onto the podium in P5, has been disqualified from the session, but former admin of FTRL, been here, well, been in and out for a long time. Took a break fairly recently, but he's now decided to come back and see us. Matt Cause in P6, I think this is his 4th season in FTRL, possibly, maybe 5th. So he's starting to establish himself as a long-serving member. Ravers Revenge, again, one of the first ever members in the league, just transitioned onto a wheel, so hopefully he finds a little bit of form, I'm sure he will. Michael C, again, one of the original members of FTRL, former admin himself. Very good driver. CJ Payne, current Division 2 champion, current championship leader in a Challenge Championship now. Chicken Guy, the admin for this division. So he will be looking for a positive race this evening. City Posh Blue in P11. Yeah, fairly new to the league. I think this will be his 2nd season with us, but pleasure to be around as always. Cress, again, he's a Division 2 champion. He's up in Division 1 at the minute, and an FTRL Donzo in his debut season, rounding off the grid. Nevertheless, I would expect Don to have a fairly strong race this evening. If we can get some form of good camera angle, that would be fantastic. There we go. So we have 5 red lights, and away we go. Looks like Ox has had an absolutely amazing start. And we've had Panda fending off Dutch into turn 1. Is that a sideways car I saw in the background? I'm not too sure. Let's see how they go through this trickier section. That is Dutch Tricks and Matt Cause. And side by side, Matt Cause having to cut the corner. Nobody's had an off just yet. So onto the podium is attacking Matt Cause. Matt Cause defends himself well though. Onto the podium looking for a mini switchback if you like. Further down the order, Chicken Guy and Tico going side by side. Tico's had a shocking start. Started P3 I believe it was. He finds himself down in P8 now. Donzo's made up 2 places, sitting P11. Ravers Revenge again dropping off 5 positions at the start of the race. It's really, really difficult to figure out who's who. There's a couple of guys going side by side up here. That is still Tico and Chicken Guy. Ox got half a second gap to Panda with Dutch Tricks right behind him. So let's go and check out what's going on there. Yeah, the timing's a bit wrong on here. Apparently onto the podium's a minute and 11 seconds behind. Oh god, now this is going to be difficult to keep on top of this now. But we'll try. FTRL Panda picks up the first penalty of the evening, 3-second time penalty. I imagine we're going to see quite a few. Why is it doing this to me with these times? Ask Comms, who do you think will win this race? I'm going to stick with Ox. He's looking strong tonight. Can we find any battles? Is there anyone particularly close? Tico's on the back of Houdini. Let's have a swig of my drink while this unfolds. Tico on the attack. Houdini's up a couple of places from the start. Yeah, Ox takes the fastest lap again. Established quite a nice little lead so far. There we go, the timing screen's back to normal. Tico having a look up the inside of Houdini, brakes later. Houdini doesn't fight back too much. Don't think he wants too much part of that battle at the moment. Raver's Revenge fighting with Donzo, who is actually his brother. So no doubt he's wanting to prove... Oh, there we go. He's cracked under the pressure. And you can just see his brother driving off in the distance. Donzo establishing himself as the best driver in that family. There we go. We're just going to see his brother just pulling away from him. Matt Claus picks himself up a time penalty. He's moved up to P4 though, Matt Claus. Had a good start. He's pulled about a second gap to onto the podium. FTRL Panda's applying the pressure. He's just set the fastest lap of the race so far. It's going to be a fairly quick one. It's only a short lap. So let's go down and see what Quest is up to. He's approaching CJ Payne. Peterman's still on for my 3-3. Donzo to beat his brother Ravers tonight. Well, that'll be quite comical. Dead Wilfred saying, so you think Mercedes will win the real F1 championship again, or will Ferrari Red Bull be able to scrap it back? No, I think Mercedes are going to do it. They're looking too strong. At the start of this season, it's looking like it's going to be a very good season for Mercedes, which is yeah, Ferrari need to pull their finger out, I think. But I think their biggest problem that they've got is they are still prioritising Sebastian Vettel, when I think everybody knows that Leclerc's got probably more of a chance this season. Vettel just doesn't seem to be in it anymore. Not as much as what he used to be. Cress is applying the pressure to CJ. Ravers is very close to his brother once again, so he's caught himself back up. Peteman, did you say Barcelona have scored? If so, who scored? Keep the info coming, I want detail. Right, Ravers Revenge. In slipstream range of his brother. But he's having difficulty, Ravers. Donzo driving very well indeed at the moment. Oh, yeah, Ravers that take evasive action there. I think Don made a slight mistake. Slammed on the brakes. At the moment, everybody else is fairly spread out on the track. This is the closest battle that we've got. Luis Suarez, 26th minute. Okay, so did he celebrate? That's what I want to know. As he rubbed it in the face of the Liverpool fans. To rattle them, get under their skin. Ox responds. Got a 1.6 second gap to Panda. Just gone fastest once again. Raver's Revenge really applying the pressure. But Don does not seem to be cracking. Matt Cause has got within a second of Dutch in the battle for the final podium spot. Ox picks up a penalty, but we do know Pounder's already got one himself as well. So, and there's Matt Cause. I think that's his second already, and we're only on lap 6. So 22 to go, but those laps will fly by. All Ravers, he's definitely looking quicker at the minute. Don's run wide. Both Everton fans, so they'll be in a familiar position of about 11th or 12th in the table in the standings and so on. So doing the Toffees proud. The Ravers just can't seem to hook it up. Let's go and see what Matt Cause is up to. Matt Cause looking racy tonight. I don't know what you guys think, but that's definitely getting a lot more cloudier. Ravers picks up a 3-second time penalty and multiple warnings. Matt Cause cutting all sorts of corners. That's probably why he's so close to Dutch. But we need to remain impartial. Ask Coms, who do you think is the most underrated driver in FTRL? That's a very, very difficult question. Are we talking overall or one per division? Let me know. Matt Cause looking quick. Oh, Ravers is close. Don is just hooking these laps together. One per division. Okay, right. I would say in Division 1, normally Co-Andy seems to be the obvious answer. I think Brawn deserves a lot of credit this season, but I don't think he's underrated anymore. I'd probably say Chicken Guy, to be fair. Doesn't seem to get any penalties, always seems to be around the points. Ravers Revenge, big lunge up the inside. Dirty move from Ravers. Oh, but Don's had a good exit. Is Don going to lunge into turn 1? Oh, that's a shame. Right, actually got some history for you. So Matt Cause, when we've done a previous race around here a few seasons ago, actually got himself disqualified for multiple penalties, and he's going that way again tonight. So that could be funny. I mean, that could be a disaster. But yeah, no, I'm going to say Chicken Guy for Division 1. For Division 2, I'm going to say Bendel, I think. I know he's had a lot more credit recently, but I mean, he's been finishing in sort of mid-range points. So if he has a good season, he could be an outside shout for maybe a promotion. Bit of an ask for him, but if he keeps getting these P5s, P6s and so on, and people slip up, then you never know. Yeah, Ravers has now pulled about a second on Don, and Tico is closing down onto the podium. This could be a laugh. Onto the podium, defending around a track like this with Tico trying to get past. Oh, Tico's had a good run. Taking a look onto the podium. Gonna bide his time. To go back to your previous question, Pagani, I've only just seen this, is City Posh the unluckiest driver in FTL history? I don't know about history, but he's certainly making his way up there. He seems to be extremely unlucky. Does City Posh? Ox goes fastest again. 106.8. That is Tico running wide in the background, picks himself up a penalty. City Posh gets another one. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to these positions at the minute, because I think with all of the penalties that are going to apply, it's going to be quite a crazy race. So Tico, these cars sound amazing. Matt Cause, I think that's his 5th penalty now in 10 laps, so he's averaging 1 every 2 laps. Tico's probably not far off. He's cutting every single corner. Let's take him on board with the Dutchman. Onto the podium, won't make this easy for him. Ask Comms, we've heard some chatter that some members of the FTRL Ferrari team becoming unsettled being around the number 1 driver, Goy Karp. Some drivers struggling to be noticed. Yeah, I mean, with Goy's total of 2 points this season, he's certainly raising some eyebrows. No, I think we're more disappointed with Dutch not winning yet. That caused another penalty. That's number 6, I think. Bear with me. I know we don't like to do this, but I'm going to look anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, Matt Cause. He got 2 penalties and 5 warnings on that on that lap. I shouldn't laugh, but okay. 2 penalties and 5 warnings. It's definitely going to rain. I'm 100% sure of this. Well, not 100%, but not far off. So Matt Cause, I mean, that's got to be some form of record. 2 penalties and 5 warnings in 1 lap. I think we're going to see quite a lot of position changes coming into this race. But yeah, Tico struggling to catch up onto the podium. We're seeming to find at the moment on this race that, well, actually Ravers is right at the back of Cress. Literally on the back of him. Oxtox goes fastest again. He's looking racy tonight, is Mr. Oxtox. Ravers had a slight wobble, I think. Here comes the rain. Yeah, it's going to happen, Pete, isn't it? Pete, did Suarez celebrate with that goal tonight? I'm intrigued. Right, so I'm back. Tico, another penalty. It's pretty much the only action that's really going on at the moment, other than Ravers. Seems to be in the thick of it all tonight, which I know he's going to love when he watches this back later. But saying that, he's out the points. Oh, Cress. Looking a bit wobbly in front of him. If it rains, will Donzo assert his dominance over Ravers Revenge? I think so, yeah. I think Don's going to finish very well tonight. I really do. Because he's not far off, and loads of these guys have got loads of penalties. I don't think I've seen one for Don yet. Ravers is really applying the pressure on Cress. City Posh Blues not having the best of nights. Ravers is on the attack. And Chicken Guy isn't far up the road either. So Ravers does look pretty racy tonight. It's just cutting out these mistakes as Cress has a bit of a slide on the exit. So I'm just trying to think out of the guys that are racing tonight. Ravers goes for an almighty Willy Ticks dive bomb and picks up a 3-second time penalty for his troubles, then goes onto the grass. Not sure whether he let him back through there or not, or whether he was just being a noob. But no, Ravers probably both. Sector 3, we have City Posh round into the wall. Not good signs for City Posh. Yeah, so as we know, I'm always going to stay on board with the closest battle, and at the moment it's still Ravers. Halfway through the race now, so we've got about 17 minutes left. Is my guess. An un-FTRL based question, with FTRL having brought back the football podcasts, will we be seeing what Arsenal should do to fix their team? Yes, you will. Oh. Thank you. Right, if I can get rid of my sneezing. Yes, 100%. I think we're going to try and make these a lot more regular, these podcasts. People seem to enjoy them. We're going to bring in loads of graphics and do it as professionally as we can. But yeah, we're going to do it very, very regularly, especially throughout the summer when there's not much football going on and maybe do one for every Premier League team, see what they need, talk about them, etc. Ravers has had a good run, but yeah, oh, I've seen some rain. This is where it's going to get spicy now. I think we've already had a spin in sector 3. Who is that? Oh, Ravers is close. This is going to get slippery very, very quick, I think. Oh, there goes Ravers. There goes his wing. Already getting slippery by the looks of it. Oh, Houdini's round. There we go. This is where the fun starts. Okay. So with there being rain, Dutch is round. Wow. It's all kicking off. Don't think he's lost any wing. This is going to be absolute torture for some of these lads tonight. But with rain incoming, obviously, what are we saying? Who's going to? Is there going to be any massive changes? I think we're going to see quite a few spins. People diving into the pits already. There we go. So Matt Cause stayed out. Panda stayed out, and so did Ox. Ox looks very comfortable. Touch wood, don't want to jinx anybody. So Houdini 5 second stop go speeding in the pit lane. Oh, spinning in the pit lane. He can't get this together at all, can he? Oh, Ravers has hit the back of him. What a nightmare. Chaos is occurring. I don't think Don's had a moment. Come on, Don, get yourself in the pits. Oh, he's not looking confident. Into first gear. There we go, Don's finally in. So tyres, so where's Matt Cause in all of this? Matt Cause is doing some Need for Speed Underground drifting. Can he make the corner? Can he get round it? Ooh. We have a yellow in sector 1. Was that Dutch again? No, it wasn't. Well, everyone's now very spread out, it must be said. Oh god, this is coming down thick and fast. That changed very, very quick. So 11 laps to go. This should be pretty interesting now. So Pagani with, as the Division 2 Championship leader, can you beat CJ's record for consecutive race wins? I would love to, but the problem we've got is Russia, which is next week, and then even if I do make it 6, with Italy and Singapore being the next 2, we have Japan for round 7. So if I was going to do it, then it's absolutely no chance that it's going to happen at Japan. We've got yellows in sector 3. City Posh again, not having a good day. But good on him though. He's carrying on. Let's shoot. Ox just in complete control. I'm now watching Barcelona reports Suarez celebration when I see it. Okay, mate. I'm sorry, I thought you had it on. Oh, I think we've lost to Houdini. Oh, who's that round? That was CJ Payne. Cress is round as well. Wow, it's all going off. Ten laps to go. We can do this. Ravers getting close. Ravers is back behind his brother again. So Ravers has had a moment. Donzo going strong. Ravers with another time penalty. Now I haven't seen one for Don yet. The cat bloody meowing at me. Dutch tricks, 3-second penalty. I feel like that's all I'm reporting in this race, but Pagani wish I could have driven now. Yeah, me too, mate. But Ox 13 seconds clear of Panda. Oh, City Posh is around again. He's really not having the best of nights. And that's just rubbed salt into the wounds. But massive credit to him, he's carrying on. He's 1 minute and 25 seconds behind. Well, it looks like it's going to be between Don and Ravers for the final point scoring position. As he's 28 seconds behind CJ, but for any incidents that may occur... Oh, crashes round. So right on cue. Quest, another time penalty. Sectors 1 and 2 we have yellow flags. Houdini has left the session. This is really hard to keep up with tonight. I apologise that the stream isn't great. Onto the podium, putting Panda under pressure. 1 second gap onto the podium. Normally pretty good in the wet weather conditions, must be said. FTRL Panda, very strong driver. Ravers Revenge, we have lost him. Where did we lose Ravers? Oh, Tico's round. Wow, it is all going off tonight. So Donzo looks like he's set for a minimum 1 point tonight. Ravers in the wall in the background. I thought I saw it somewhere. Very unfortunate for Ravers. Let me drop him an invite and see if we can get him in. Virtual safety car. I will be as quick as I possibly can. Let's see whether Ravers wants to jump in for the final 10 laps and give us a brief overview of what happened. Chicken Guy drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. Unfortunately, we missed that. Don't know whether Ravers will join us, but nevertheless, Pagani nom 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 nom. Come on Donzo, hashtag Team Donzo. Cress is in the pit, so Donzo is up into P9. Going very well indeed, is Don. City Posh is round again. It's becoming a recurring theme of the evening. But he's still going. I'm not laughing at his misfortune, I'm laughing out of the fact that I'm impressed that he is still going. Ox, absolutely flawless in this race so far. Panda's pulled out about a second and a little bit onto the podium. We've got yellow flags everywhere. I'm going to have to just keep flicking through and seeing what's going on. Ravers Revenge has joined the party.
Hello.
Hello, mate. I just thought I'd invite you in, see if you wanted to jump in for the final few laps and give us a view of what happened and about the race and so on.
Well, man, no traction in the wet. It's impossible.
That looked tough. It looked very tough, mate. It just seemed to change really quickly. I don't know whether that was just me, but
yeah.
How was the car? Oh, Tico. Yeah, how was the car to drive?
In the drive, it's alright. I like it, but it's completely different in the wet.
Yeah, I can imagine. Was you running a wet or a dry setup?
The setup that I had was, I suppose, was the dry one, but I did in quali change it. Like I put loads of rear wing on, ballast down, standard thing, but it just weren't enough.
Yeah, it seemed. Yeah, it's, I mean, as far as we've got someone in the wall. Who is that? Is that City Posh again? It is City Posh. It seems to be a recurring theme tonight. I can't count the amount of times I've said it, but again, credit to him. He's still going, City Posh. Fair play to him. I think I've said that pretty much every lap. There's been a yellow in sector 3 and I've gone to it and it's been City Posh round after the final corner. But yeah. But no, if you're happy to stay with us for the final few laps, Ravers, that would be great.
Yeah. Yeah, can do.
Fantastic. It's been a while since we've been in the box together, mate.
It has.
Well, anything you noticed from the race? Anyone looked particularly like they were struggling out there? Anybody that you think is looking pretty good?
I don't know. I had the worst start ever, and then I stuck behind Dom for a bit, managed to get past, and then I was stuck behind Cress. I think I was quicker than them, but
You looked it until obviously when the conditions started to change, all of a sudden the grip just seemed to go, and then we saw you fly across that, coming out the final corner into the wall and lose half your wing.
yeah.
So
when I came into the pits to put the wets on, Houdini was sideways in the pit entry. So
yeah, I saw that.
Just went into him.
Yeah, we saw that. Yeah, I think we've managed to catch most of the action of what happened tonight. Tomo's in the chat saying ride height is the most important. Peakman saying, oh dear teammate, City Posh. I wonder how many times I've said this evening, oh, City Posh is round again. Because it must be a few. City Posh, speeding in the pit lane. Yeah.
Well.
Just, yeah, it's just gone from bad to worse for him. I mean, here's a thing for you then, Wavers. So, obviously you've been in FTRL a very, very long time. And you would have seen Ox back in his heyday, if you like. His form seems to have improved a little bit all round, and tonight he's just absolutely dominated this race. Do you think we're starting to see the old Ox again?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously this is a different sort of, different cars, but he's taken to them quicker than everyone else. I think everyone's in the same boat where we haven't had a lot of practice.
Yeah.
But that might, for Ox, if he takes to the new game, because obviously they're essentially new cars, they are going to feel different. So maybe in the new game next season, he might be one for to watch.
Well, this is it. I remember when this game came out and we was all in the lobbies practicing together, and people like Blue Flag were like quicker than Dutch and stuff like this. So in the first season of the new game, it should be. It's going to be all about who adapts to the game quick enough. But someone like Ox, I imagine with the amount he plays the game, he will be very, very quick to start off with. And then it's just a case of whether he can maintain that. But we have a yellow in Sector 1. It's not City Posh.
Ooh, who is it?
May have been Donzo, briefly. I think he might have had a wobble, possibly. I could be wrong. Now we have Dutch Tricks right on the back of Matt Cause. Don't know where Matt Cause has gone. There is Matt Cause. Run very, very wide. Oh, that wasn't Matt Cause. Okay, that was somebody else getting out of the way.
City Posh letting them through, yeah.
Right. We was reporting earlier on, if you go on to Matt Cause's penalties as Dutch is on the attack, if you look at, I think it was by lap 10, I think it was on lap 10, he got 2 penalties and 5 warnings in 1 lap.
Wow.
So that's got to be some form of record.
That must be some form of record. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's on 8 penalties.
I think he can only get 2 more, can't he? Or 1 more.
Cress and Dom side by side, turn 1.
If anybody thinks Matt Cause is going to retire, get disqualified in this race, can you please put a hashtag I'm very good at talking to girls in the stream chat? I'll be interested to see how many people will come back with that, but I mean, I'm going to throw it out there. I think he's going to get disqualified.
There's not that many laps left.
Well, if you saw, he got 2 penalties and 5 warnings in 1 lap. I wouldn't put it past him. I reckon just on pens, Donzo is winning this, Peatman said. Pagani has said, ask Ravers, does this result finally prove which brother is better?
Yeah, me. Oh, Dutch has had a wobble. He's gathered it.
He's had a few of them. He's had a few of them in this race. Donzo, 4.8 seconds behind Cress. But that's going to be a battle for 9th, I think, by the end. I don't think Donzo has a penalty. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but yeah, not really much else going on, to be honest, so we might as well give Oxox a little bit of airtime. Taking on board of him. He's got 3 laps to go until the end of this race. Yeah, I can't imagine how difficult this must be for these drivers tonight, but I mean, Oxox can afford to just take it easy now. He's got a 21.5 second gap to Panda in second, which is yeah, onto the podium's only 2 seconds behind Panda, so depending on penalties, I think we might see a few changes.
Oh, maybe Tico. He's 35 seconds behind Matt Cause, with Matt Cause having what, 8 penalties?
Yeah, but I think Tico's got quite a few himself, to be honest.
Okay.
I think we're going to see quite a few position changes coming into this race. Just on penalties. But yeah, I mean, on the whole, it's been quite a strange one to watch, really.
Yellow sector 1.
Yellow sector 1. It wasn't City Bosch. I think what we'll do is Oxox are coming around to start the final lap of the race, so I think we'll just take it on board with Ox. So Oxox flying up towards turn 1, 180, nearly 185 miles an hour in these conditions, drops that down into third. Tico gets another time penalty. Heading down towards the S section, he just needs to keep it on the track in this lap. We're actually on board with Panda, which is not good. It's not good commentary from me.
Oh, something's happened. Tico lost the position to Chicken Yard.
Yeah, Tico's had a wobble.
He's got damage, front left.
Okay, so I got that completely wrong. I was commentating Panda thinking it was Oxox and it wasn't even the final lap. So, good commentary from me there, yep. Yeah, cheers Tomo, that's Panda. Nice one mate, thank you. Right, so Tico's massively lost out. Could lose more coming into this race. Yellow in sector 3. City Bosch.
Yep, he's doing donuts. Yeah, he's definitely doing donuts.
He's doing some donuts, yep. CJ Payne 3 second time penalty. But yeah, so we will stay on board with Oxox now for this final lap. Onto the podium is 1.4 behind Panda, but unless it's on penalties I don't think it's going to catch that up. Oxox going through the S section. Car looks very planted and stable, must be said. Looking forward to having a chat with Oxox after this race, must be said.
Yep.
Seeing what his thought process is going forward. Obviously Panda being the alternative championship specialist that he is. And then onto the podium, being onto the podium. Let's wind him up after the race. That'll be fun. Anyway, Oxox in the final sector. Coming around this long combination.
Right down.
Yeah. Considering the conditions, there's a very, very good lap from Oxox there. Wide for the final corner. He's going to drift. And he's going to spin it over the line to take what was...
Dutch. Oh, I just didn't really see what happened.
No. Oxox has taken the win. Donzo, I think that might be his first penalty of the evening. Even so, very, very impressive from Don. Gets himself a minimum of a point. Panda 5 second time penalty for an unserved stop go means onto the podium comes home in second place. And Panda comes
still fighting.
Yeah, Panda comes home in third, onto the podium second. Matt Claus and Dutch for the final point scoring position. Dutch is wobbling all over the place. And Matt Claus is going to drop out massively. Oh, Dutch! His car is not stable at all. Let's see how far Matt Coles drops down. Actually, in fairness, he'll probably down to 5th. Oh.
Did he even finish?
No, Dutch overtook him before the line.
Oh.
He would have got him on penalties anyway, but there you go. So the final order is Ox takes the win onto the podium second, Panda in P3. Go on.
Tess and City Posh just together in the wall, just messing around.
There we go. So City Posh takes 11th place. A lot of credit must go to him in that race because he's had an absolute nightmare evening, but he's still carried on to the end. Credit to him. FTRL drinking game. Have a shot every time Aaron says City Posh is round. I would be absolutely hammered by this point. Here he goes, as Ox lifts his trophy. Yeah, final classifications. Nobody went without a penalty. Donzo was very, very close. Yeah, onto the podium in P2 after an Ox win. Panda in P3, Dutch in P4, Matt Coles with 24 seconds of penalties in P5, Chicken Guy 6th, CJ 7th, Tico also getting 24 seconds of penalties, P8, Cress in P9, Donzo in P10, City Posh round off the grid. Then we had retirements from Houdini and someone else.
Yeah, someone else.
Someone else, right. So how do you want to work the podium interviews? Do you want me to do top 2 and you do Panda, or do you want to do second?
Yes, I'll do Panda, yes.
Yeah, cool, no problem. Let's get the guys in for the podium interviews. I won't be able to hear you for a second if you do speak. Okay, well, there we go, I'm back now. Okay, so let's get the guys in. Have a quick vape. City Posh saying woohoo, let's go baby. I think we're just waiting for Ox, are we? Okay, so everybody's here. Right, well, first of all, good evening to you all. Well done. Congratulations on your respective podiums. Ox, I will come to you first straight away, mate. Well, that was a bit of a dominant win, wasn't it? Have you got experience driving these cars, mate?
I think absolutely 0 laps, minus the practice before the race. So, yeah.
Well, you seem to pick it up very well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry to have to say this, but I think the assists gave me a bit of a edge in the race.
Yeah. Well, that don't matter though.
I think the win is mainly due to the fact I was in pole. I mean, I just happened to get the perfect lap out of everyone else, and it worked out in the end.
Yeah, well, I mean, considering the conditions, because obviously, like you said, 0 practice, you put together a very, very good qualifying lap, and then you went from dry to wet conditions. Had you done anything to your setup, or did you kind of just wing it and see how you'd cope? What was your pre-race preparation like?
Yeah, definitely. I was just winging it. I mean, I saw the rain. I thought, yeah, just heck it, just go with 8 ballast and see what happens.
Yeah.
If I crash, I crash.
Cool. Well,
a couple of times almost did, actually.
well, I think out of everybody, you looked, I think, one of the most stable cars on the grid tonight. So yeah, it seemed like a good result for you. So, just a couple more for you, mate. So the first one is, like I've been saying a lot recently, you seem to have found a little bit of the form of the Ox of old that we knew. Would you think that's just down to having a bit more luck, or you've put a bit more into it? You've been a bit more motivated? What's the story behind it? Because you seem to have really kicked on recently.
I think it's the fact I mean, of course, it's the luck, obviously, but it's not just that alone. I mean, I've just completely changed my. I feel like the Valtteri Bottas 2.0, except without all the wins.
Or the beard. Have you got a beard?
Oh, no,
No. Well, there you go.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I mean, different mentality coming into the races. Just do my best job and figure out the rest later.
Brilliant. Well, one final question for you, mate, before I let you go. Obviously, that is round 4, I believe, of the Challenge Championship. How are you finding it so far? Obviously, it's completely different. Everything's always quite different every week, but how have you found it all so far?
Very interesting. I mean, this was kind of the change I was looking forward. I mean, I didn't completely like the Performance League last
Right.
season or the season before, so this was a very welcomed change, and I love it so much.
Cool. Well, I'm pleased, mate. But nevertheless, massive congratulations, massive congratulations to you. Sorry, I got really bad throat. Be right back. Hold on. Right, that's better. I've stopped dying now. But yeah, well done to you, mate. Nice to see you back at the top of the grid, and hopefully we'll see you again very, very soon.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, I'll move straight on to Connor. As I know, Ravers is keen to talk to Will, so I will speak to you, Connor, begrudgingly. This season seems to be going alright for you in this championship, doesn't it? I think you've had a win, and you've now had a P2. Have you? How did you find that one tonight, mate?
Well, it just felt like a karting track. Obviously, well, similar to Mexico, it's going to be down to penalties, so I just, try to not to get penalties, and did exactly the same in Mexico and sat behind Will for the last 10 laps.
Yeah, we noticed you got quite close to him. Did you have any sort of plans to try and get past, or was you aware that he had a penalty, or what was your kind of thought process?
I was aware he had a penalty, and overtaking him on this track is pretty much impossible unless someone makes a mistake. So
Yeah, there was quite a few of them tonight. So, talk to me about the change in obviously the cars and whatnot. I assume you wouldn't have done loads of practice for it, but had you put any laps in before?
I did one lap in time trial in the dry just to see if the cars actually turn with my normal setup. Seemed to go alright, so when I saw rain was in the race, I just put on my usual wet setup, and it didn't turn as much as I wanted to, but I made it work in the end, so I didn't spin out. That was the goal, really.
Yeah, exactly. Well, how did you find the change in conditions? Because I mean, it seemed to just go from really, really dry to just insanely wet within the space of about 30 seconds. So, was there quite a difference in the car, or was it all still pretty stable for you? Because a lot of people struggled tonight.
It definitely wasn't stable. I mean, the rain started and we got the call for the pit within one lap, so yeah, it definitely wasn't stable. I don't know if it was down to the setup or just the car. I know these classic cars are horrific in the rain, so yeah, it wasn't comfortable, but just had to go slower than everyone else, and we obviously made quite a few mistakes, which got me second in the end.
Yeah, well, one final thing then for you, mate. Obviously, like we said, you have picked up a win. You picked up a P2. I think with that might put you back at the top of the championship now, because CJ, I think, finished a bit further down the order. I'm not entirely sure on that though, but nevertheless, since your return to FTRL, we've found you in the podiums quite a lot, whether it's in Division 2 or in here. So it seems to be quite a nice, welcome change for you, mate. How are you finding being back?
Yeah, it's quite nice actually being up there. Fair bit. Obviously, you're in Div 2 and being lucky as always, but we'll have to, sort that out over the course of the season. But yeah, I wouldn't say I've been the quickest in either division. I've literally just been keeping it clean, and I don't think I've finished outside the points yet.
No, well, other than that massive tank slapper you had last night in China, It's been a pretty welcomed return for you, mate. So, nevertheless, nice to see you back, and congratulations on the P2.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool. Right, Ravers, have a chat with our panda.
Hello, Panda.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You want to play some Rocket League after this? Man, I didn't really know much about the race other than crashing. So, can you talk us through perhaps the first half of the race from your point, from your angle?
Oh yeah, it seemed like the pace was very good. I was getting away from the likes of Dutch and things behind me, but I just kept cutting corners. There's too many in such a short circuit. But I just kept cutting the corners. The penalties kept mounting. If I got something crazy like 6 seconds in the first 3 laps, that didn't go too well. And then
I think actually there was a record set, Aaron, wasn't there? Something like that. There must be a record.
Oh, what, from Matt Cause?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Matt Cause on lap, I believe it was lap 10, I want to say, picked up 2 penalties and 5 warnings in 1 lap.
that is impressive.
That is impressive. That must have been literally every single corner. So yeah, I mean that's an impressive stat from Matt Cause.
Oh, definitely. But yeah, that was definitely the first thing. Was just dictated by penalties. And then I managed to go into the pits an entire mile an hour over the 50-mile-an-hour limit. So I got a stop go for that. And then the second race, well, not a second race, but it felt like one. Just basically just sliding around so much. My drive setup wasn't great in the wet, it's fair to say.
So what about this? Well, let's call it the alternative championship, because obviously it was performance and now it's challenge. How high up does this sort of? Because you were pretty good at performance. How important is this in your portfolio, if you like?
Well, it's very important because there's just too many fast people in Div 1, so I've got to go somewhere else. And this is, it's to be honest, it's really good fun, just doing completely random stuff every week.
So next week, what's our next challenge? Does anyone know?
Australia short race, it's like 25% or something.
That's it, yeah, 100% quali, full quali, 25% race. Yeah, are you looking forward to that one?
Oh God.
I haven't done the full quali, so hopefully we get a nice big grid and we can see some of that. I'm looking forward to it.
Fair enough. Well, congratulations on your podium, and
Thank you.
yeah, hand you back to Aaron.
Yeah, well, massive well done to our top 3. Bit of a strange race to commentate on tonight, given everything that went on. But nevertheless, thank you for those that stuck through it with me. Yeah, right, so let's talk rest of the week. So tomorrow we have got the 3rd round of FTRL versus PSGL in the GT Sports Super Formula League. If the first 2 weeks are anything to go by, you do not want to miss tomorrow. So please come and give us as much support as possible. Commentary from Foggy, which was absolutely superb last week. So we'll be having that again. And then on Friday we have got the normal GT Sport League. Whether that will be streamed or not at this stage, we're unsure. But nevertheless, we will hopefully see you tomorrow. If not, please join us next week for the Russia week of FTRL. Thank you very much and good night.